Why? Do you really want to touch me that badly? You're still a bear, I hope you know that, Dion! Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Locked Heart. So today I'm going to be actually taking a look at Dion's route. So in case you missed the first route, which was Seoul, the link's in the description to the playlist so you can watch that. And I'm hoping to learn more as to why Dion was not the heir to the family anymore. So hopefully that will be answered in this one. And since I am playing this as a second time, I'm going to skip all the stuff we have already seen and just get to Dion's stuff. And, yeah, so, let's begin. Okay, so this is when Aura is outside when she just first found the mansion. I don't think it's a good idea to sleep out here. Who knows what kind of creatures lurk within the forest? What if a wild bear attacks me during my sleep? I shivered at the thought. I definitely can't die in this place. But what am I supposed to do now? Oh, if only Mother were here, she'd know what to do. I smiled. That's right. Mother always knew what I was supposed to do. Here, Aura, take this. It's so good. I'm sure the people you will cook for will love it. Thank you, sweetie. Someday, you'll just be as a good cook as I am. Do you really think so, Mommy? Of course, and that's a promise. Yay! The people you cook for, they're a famous family, right? Yes, they are the... This weather, ugh. Now I have to clean the mud off my feet. Why do I always have to be the one to check outside instead of Royal? A voice broke through my retrieve. I blinked and spun around, searching for the source of the voice. My heart thudded against my chest. Where did it come from? I can't see anyone. Must have been my imagination. Talking to yourself is the first sign of madness, young lady. It came again. Maybe I am really going mad. Down here, young lady. I turned and looking down and almost screamed. Why am I not surprised that Dion is carrying an umbrella? Okay. A white teddy bear was staring up at me with amusement in its eyes. And then I remembered my previous thought about the bear attacking me. Well, I wouldn't mind being attacked by a cute teddy bear. Hello? So, you noticed me at last. You can talk? You're a magical bear? You could say that, I suppose. Have you never seen a talking bear before? No, I haven't. Well, I guess it can't be helped. They are rather expensive. You don't need to point out how poor I am, though. I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you. I only pointed out that they cost a lot of money. Anyway, what are you doing out here in the rain? You see, a demon cat ordered me. I shivered, glancing over the shadows cast over in the house by the lightning. I knew this place was cursed, but nobody mentioned anything about demons. There's a demon here? I'm afraid so. Hey Dion, who are you talking to? Oh, it's right. It appeared that the bear I was talking to wasn't the only bear around here. In fact, he was the smallest of the group that had now shown up on the porch. They didn't seem like demons, so I managed to stop shaking. Oh, maybe I'll give them names to distinguish them. The brown one can be Papa Bear since he's the biggest, and the yellow medium-sized one can be Mama Bear, and I'll call the smallest one Baby Bear. Distracted, I suddenly realized that they were all staring expectantly at me, and believe me, it's rather intimidating when a group of toy bears stare at you, even though it probably doesn't sound very scary at all. I raised my hands in surrender. Please don't mind me, I'm harmless! Papa Bear glared at me. I didn't know teddy bears were even capable of doing that. What are you doing here, girl? I actually got lost in the forest and ended up here. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead. This is the option if we choose to leave, which I haven't seen yet, so... I stood on the mansion's porch and stared at the forest ahead of me. The rain had stopped, but the earth was still littered with dampness. Raindrops were caught in its soft halo of moonlight. Taking a deep breath, I turned and looked at the toys gathered at the door. Their expressions were that of sadness. Though the longer I looked at their glass eyes, the more I believed it was fear. So, it was nice meeting you all. No sooner had I finished speaking did Lily let out a sob and disappear inside. Miss Lily! Bidding me one last worried glance, Mama Bear went after her, which only left Papa Bear and Baby Bear. Why does it suddenly feel like I'm saying a final goodbye? As if I was enforced by concern, Papa Bear scoffed at me, though it came from more like a growl. Can't believe you really want to die so badly. Not that it mattered to me, but do whatever you want. He gave me one last glare before he left. Really? Royal's kind of a dick, isn't he? Dion looked up at me. His cute face crumbled with a worried and unhappiness, very much like a baby bear I kept calling him. It's not too late to change your mind, you know. Death? Were they really serious about this barrier thing? Would it seriously kill me? I looked up at the forest once again. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary that could stop me. Everything was wet from the rain, but it looked like the same as it had when I was running through the trees to find shelter. Nothing should happen. But why do I feel so nervous and scared? Drawing in a deep breath, I took one step, then another, resisting the urge to glance back at Baby Bear. I tried the third step and continued down the path. My own funeral march sung in my head, playing vividly in my mind. I tried to shake it away, but the fear had already sunk in. What if I really die when I try to leave the mansion grounds? My body froze for a few seconds, and then I was stumbling backwards until I was at the door again. I could feel cold sweat lingering on my neck. I changed my mind. You made the right decision to stay, my lady. Although I'm a bit intrigued. What changed your mind? The image of a closed casket entering the tomb flashed across my mind. Basically, I don't want to die. You don't want to know. Baby Bear shrugged and shook his head at me, though I noticed a little smile on his face too. You're one weird girl. Anyway, let's go back inside before you get yourself into more trouble. Okay. I was about to follow Baby Bear inside when I noticed something on the lawn a few yards from the porch. I squinted hard. The moonlight caught on the gathering pebbles lying on the wide arch of the grass. That's odd. Why are they like that? I turned towards the forest again. Beside me, Baby Bear gave a sigh. What's wrong? Hey, it's nothing. I'm pretty sure those pebbles are not the barrier or anything. Really? Baby Bear tilted his head to the left, staring at me. And then why do you look so bothered? If it's nothing? I noticed that there were pebbles around the house, and I'm wondering what they're for. Those. They act as a mark to indicate where the barrier starts. You're very observant, Aura. I knew it! It's where the barrier is! Well, I like to take note of my surroundings so I won't get lost. Though I ended up getting lost anyway. I laughed at the irony. As much as I'd like to leave, I don't think I could figure out which way to go. I don't suppose you could tell me the directions to the next village? A weary smile pulled on his mouth. As much as I'd like to help a lady, even if I did tell you the directions, they won't help much at this point. We are trapped here, remember? Oh, right. My hope instantly died. It's getting cold. Let's go back inside. Of course. I gave one last look at the forest, mentally berating myself for getting into this mess. I touched my locket and jerked my hand away when it burned under my touch. What? I stared at the locket, startled. Slowly I touched it again, bracing myself for the heat. It felt cold as always. I think I'm going crazy. Aura? Coming! So Dion is leading us to the bedroom. It's not Lily this time. I'm surprised that she didn't say she would go, but okay. I guess it's because she's in love with Soul, not Dion. Dion led me into the hallway, and while I was supposed to be the one following him because of his small size, he also had small steps. I had to stop from time to time to wait for him. Dion, can I carry you instead? Why? Do you really want to touch me that badly? You're still a bear, I hope you know that, Dion. Well, I do want to squeeze you because you look so soft and fluffy, but don't you think it'd be a lot faster if I carried you while you show me the way? No offense. Dion tilted his head as if thinking. You do have a point, I suppose. I bent down and he hopped into my arms. Jesus Christ. You're just as I thought. You're really soft and fluffy. I squeezed him harder. Careful, love. You'll ruin the fur. Sorry. But it definitely feels nice to be hugged, although I wish I could feel your warmth. I stared at him, not understanding what he meant. Why? Am I cold? Not really. It's just that we're toys. We can no longer feel. I wish I could still recall what it's like to feel anything physical, that is. That's sad, actually. I guess that would make sense because, you know, they're toys. They don't have, like, a nervous system or anything. The atmosphere grew heavy. All of them were like this because of a curse. It must have been really hard for everyone. Disliking this awkward silence, I switched the subject. Miss Maria implied that Dion was so lazy, so there was one thought I could not resolve. Is there a reason why you volunteered to escort me? Perhaps you have an ulterior motive? Of course not. I would never have an ulterior motive. It's just, my life has been pretty much uneventful these last 7 years. But now you're here. I have someone else to talk to other than my family. Things will finally get interesting. So you do have ulterior motive. Dion smiled, somehow innocent and devilish at the same time. I wouldn't call it an ulterior motive. Oh, never mind. Anyway, here we are. This is your room from now on. It's nothing fancy, but I hope you'll like it. My eyes widened at the sight in front of me. The room was simply gorgeous. It was covered with lavish decor, paintings and ornaments frames on the wall, and several tabletop figurines. The giant bed in the middle of the room looked so inviting, especially after such a hard day. Calling it fancy would be an understatement. I'm sure that you're tired after your long journey. I shall take my leave so you can have rest. He patted at my arm and pointed down. I obliged and he hopped out of my arms once I knelt low enough. Thank you. Dion gave me one last wave before leaving me in my new room. He's always blushing, isn't he? I plopped down onto the bed, the soft mattress, almost too comfortable. It's true that I was tired from the long trek through the forest, but taking in everything the Deluxe family had told me drained me both physically and mentally. I'm stuck here with a 7-year-old curse, but I can't just sit here and do nothing. Mother, it might take a while before I can fulfill my dream. Because before I can finally reach it, I must first find a way to break an impossible curse. I stared at the beautiful flowers and bushes around me and let out a long sigh. It had been 5 days and I was still on the Deluxe estate. Sitting in the garden somehow made me feel trapped, and suddenly the thought of never leaving this place again became a lot more real. I won't be able to follow my dreams and become a chef at Glendale if we can't break the curse. I would die of old age and boredom surrounded by nothing but toys. There's no way I'm staying here while a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity passes me by. I'll go ask Miss Maria and the others if there's any way for the curse to break. But my hope died at the reminder that they were still cursed after 7 whole years. That meant they still haven't found a way to break it. Sulking, I touched a few flowers, stroking their petals with my fingers. The sun was out and I felt cold in dismissal. So, I'm doomed then? I stood up to leave, but a voice stopped me in my tracks. Oi! I looked down to see Dion sneaking into the gardens, frankly searching as he was trying to hide from someone. It was quite a comical sight, even considering the fact that he was actually a toy bear. I would have laughed if it weren't for the desperate look that he gave me. Dion, what on earth are you doing? Hiding from the demon. The demon? Also known as Miss Maria. Oh, right. Is she really that dangerous? Uh-huh. You don't want to come across her when she's mad. He's not wrong. My cheek is throbbing at the reminder of her fury. Well, don't just stand there. Help me. No way. I remember Miss Maria saying Dion never volunteered to help and suddenly had suspicions Dion was guilty of something. What? You dug your own grave and I'm not planning to share it with you. I'd rather not involve myself in your mess. Thank you very much. But Dion gazed at me with his puppy dog eyes, silently pleading me to help him out. I looked away. That won't work on me, baby bear. Please? I glanced at him and he continued to look at me with sad eyes. I bit my lower lip. Why did he have to be so cute? Fine! Yes! Dion shouted in victory. He was such a sly little bear, I couldn't help but smile at him. There you are! We both froze, eventually gathering enough courage to turn around towards the source of that voice. Oh, it's Royal! Royal strode towards us, and his arms folded over his chest looking annoyed. Very annoyed. Phew, it's just you, Royal. You gave me quite a scare. Oh, you should be scared, alright. I'm handing you over to Miss Maria. What? Royal effortlessly picks up Dion in his arms, ignoring Dion's constant thrashing, and saunters back to the house. And he completely ignored me. Let me go, old man! Don't you dare hand me over to her! Royal snorted. Well, it's either you or me, and I'd rather save myself for her. How come you betrayed your best friend like this? Royal stopped and stared hard at Dion. I was expecting to hear a retort from Royal, like he always does with Dion, but instead he let an exasperated sigh and put him down. Well, this best friend of yours has been in too much trouble covering for you. I didn't know that they were friends, Royal and Dion. That's interesting. Dion snorted this time. Sol always gets away with it. Because he's the master of the house, idiot! Dion flinched at his words. I blinked. I could not explain it, but I feel strange, like there was a story behind Royal's statement, not just the insult. However, the moment was fleeting. Whatever shadow that seemed to be there lifted away. What did you do to Miss Maria was stupid and dangerous. I really admire your guts. Dion smiled at him, his tension gone too. That's why you adore me so much, right? Royal gave him a disgusted look and kicked his side. Hey! I bit back the laughter. So this is how butlers treat their masters nowadays, huh? How amusing. But then again, seeing the two of them like this is really entertaining. Sometimes it seems like all they do is argue with each other, but I think the truth is they're actually really close, even if they don't want to admit it. You! I straightened myself when Royal thrust his paw in my direction. My smile faded at his harsh tone. What are you smiling at? Nothing, Mr. Grumpy Bear. Royal shot me a glare, but it didn't say anything anymore. He turned to Dion once again. Go now before I change my mind. I knew you couldn't resist me. Dion beamed at him and then turned that charming smile on me. Let's go, love. I was unsure of what I was supposed to do next, and when I looked at Royal, he gave me a nod, a silent gesture telling me to help Dion. I scooped Dion into my arms and bolted from the garden. You owe me big time for this. How about a kiss from yours truly? You're still a bear! I groaned, rounding the sides of the mansion. No thanks. Why? I'm sure you'll love it. Just tell me when we're supposed to hide, where we're supposed to hide before the demon nanny of yours finds us? Dion was silent for a few moments before finally saying that he knew the perfect place. He urged me to hurry, and as soon as I was running through the mansion, remind me why I agreed to this again? Because you couldn't resist my charms? I didn't argue anymore. Right. What did you do anyway? Well, I may or may not have poured a bucket of water over Miss Maria. You know how it is with cats and water. Why would you do that? I shuddered, fearing Miss Maria's wrath now that I'd helped a criminal involved. Why would you even do that? He just shrugged nonchalantly, as I thought dumping water on Miss Maria was something he did every day. I was bored and I wanted to do something fun. I was just getting tired of playing with the Royal, and Miss Maria was the first one I saw. You know what happened next? That probably wasn't a very smart thing to do. But I don't think I'm in any position to scold you because I've done the same thing before. I didn't think Miss Maria deserved the same fate as that pervert from the last job, but I didn't have a chance to elaborate. Well, what do you know? Great minds do think alike after all. We're definitely perfect for each other. You mean I'm perfect to become your owner? I meant to my soulmate. I did not expect Dion to be so matter of the fact when he replied. I almost stuttered my reply. I managed to speak clearly in the end. And how did you even come up with that conclusion, Mr. Bear? He lifted his head proudly as he spoke. My gut feeling. Sometimes I don't know if I consider him crazy or delusional. Probably the latter. I quickly decide before changing the subject. So you and Roy are best friends, huh? Sometimes, although we're enemies most of the time. I guess you could call us frenemies. You know, like friends, but enemies? I gave him an odd look. You two sure are weird. So we're told. Here we are. He indicated the door with his paw. He handed me a small key. I didn't even want to know where he kept it this whole time. I opened the door. Did he shove it up his ass or something? Like, I don't know. I opened the door and ducked inside. Oh, this is a new room. My eyes widened when I saw a piano sitting there at the center of the room. This must be the conservatory. I take a step back as a familiar pain began in my chest. Phew, we're safe now. How can you be so sure? I just know that we are. I shuddered inwardly. I just hope I won't be involved in this matter he puts himself into. But then again, I did help him hide from Miss Maria, so that makes me his accomplice. I look at the piano once again, that with a heavy feeling swelled in my chest. I will shut myself off the painful memories of the past. Please, not now. Why? What's happening? Do you like music, Aura? I flinched, but I tried to smile away any of my discomfort. Why do you ask? No reason. I just noticed the look in your eyes. I blinked. Am I really that obvious? What should I do? I'm not sure I want to bring it up what happened in the past. I'm curious, so I want to know. Let's tell the truth. Well, my father was a musician. Oh. Was a musician? Don't tell me he... I'm afraid so. That's why I'm not fond of the piano anymore, because it reminds me of him. It brings back a lot of sad memories about how he died. Dude, her dad died too? That sucks. Because her mom died and then her dad... I thought her dad just left. I didn't think he died. That's sad. I'm sorry to hear that, love. For me, music brings me back good memories. It's strange, isn't it? My mother loved playing the piano, so every time I come here, it reminds me of the happy moments our family shared while my mother was still alive. Dion hopped onto the bench and gently stroked over the lid of the keys, his expression wistful. Our father was always so cheerful and kind before Mother's death. Of course, I'm the only one who remembers because Soul and Gold were too young at the time, and the father they came to know was already cold and heartless one. Oh, I'm just rambling now, aren't I? But it's just, I find it so easy to talk to you, Aura. It's as if I just found a long-lost friend. I smiled at him, stepped closer to the piano. Seems like you had a lot of fun back then. I did. If only I could turn back time. Dion was silent for a moment. So you don't hate music then? Not really, I tend to avoid anything related to it whenever possible. I see. So there's still hope then. Dion beamed, bright as sunlight. Eh? For you to like music once again. I promise when I turn back to human once again, I'll play a very special song. You play the piano? Sure do, love. If my paws function the same as my human fingers, then I would have played one for you already. Right now, I can only play a couple of notes at a time. I do hope I still remember how to play, though. Dion stared at his paws wistfully. This room is a special place, you know. You're the first one to come here after we were cursed, besides me, of course. It has been locked since Mother's death, and I'm the only one with the key. Really? Is it just because he's close with the mother? I'm afraid so. Oh, you know, this will be our secret place from now on. I don't think I'm worthy enough to be here. You're special, Aura. For me. That's why I want to share this place with you. He cast a glance at the piano, his eyes filled with longing. I almost reached out to pat his head, but I stopped myself. So, I'm a special friend then? Probably. Or perhaps you wanted to be something more, love? Ah! He grinned at me. I groaned inwardly. I didn't feel quite right when a teddy bear is flirting with you. Forget I asked. Dion chuckled beside me. I couldn't help but smile. Music. Father always told me that music made his life full of colors. I believe that too, but when he and mother left me, my life became dull. I saw things in monochrome. Looking at Dion and his cheerful and optimistic self, I couldn't help but feel like my life might have splashed of color once again. Another day passes and I was no closer to breaking the curse, so I went to the one place I was hoping to find some answers, the library. Ooh, another new room. Books do hold important information, right? Maybe I'll find something? Anything? Royal was arranging some books when I got there. I felt intimidating being there in the same room as him, but for my sake and theirs, I had endured the grumpy bear's presence. I began browsing through the shelves, the table that I'm using is now piled with books that held no clue of breaking the curse. What sort of books would have information on breaking spells anyway? Fairy tales? Perhaps Gold is the princess and she's just waiting for a kiss of her prince? This is hopeless. I slumped under the table and frowned. Hey, you better make sure you put those books back where they belong. I scowled at him. I will, Mother. Royal went back to what he was doing, not before giving me a deadly glare. I wonder how Dion was able to get along with him. He was so moody and grumpy and scary, and complete opposite of Dion. So how did you and Dion become best of friends anyway? That's none of your concern, girl. As he just brushed me off like that, I took a deep breath and tried again. But you are his friend, right? Or so he claims. Are you not? Royal stopped at what he was doing, his shoulders relaxing. A mere butler like me didn't deserve his friendship, yet he offered it to me. He treated me as an equal, not as a servant. Ah, that's why they get along so well. Even though, like, their personalities are completely different, but Dion was like, hey, you're a person, not a maid or a butler or whatever. That's nice of him. Seems like he's just one lonely fellow. That's why he even has me as a friend. I was surprised that Royal revealed so much when he was this reserved and grumpy. You think Dion is lonely? Thinking of Dion's bright and cheerful attitude, it was hard to imagine that he was lonely, but then again, anyone could mask loneliness with a smile. Probably. Lord Sol and Dion used to be close together that... Royal quickly stopped himself and glared at me. You weren't supposed to hear that! Eh? Don't you dare say a single word about this to him! I raised my hands in surrender. I won't! Sheesh! Sol and Dion used to be close. Well, it's only natural since they're brothers, so why have they become so distant? I shook my head. I was supposed to focus on breaking the curse, not on their personal affairs. I resumed searching for clues to no avail. Seems like the library is off my list now. Though I did not expect to find an easy answer. The disappointment weighed heavy in my chest. I went back to my room, defeated. There you are, love! I noticed Dion standing outside my door, obviously waiting for me. Hey there, Dion. And will you please stop calling me that? I thought he would stop using that nickname after a while, but it seemed like it has become his favorite word since I came here. You don't like that name? How about Honey then? Or perhaps you prefer to be called Darling? I groaned, touching my fingers to my temples. I don't want your weird nicknames. I simply want to be called by my name. But everyone already calls you that, he protests. I almost giggled when he puffed out his fuzzy cheeks. You're special to me. That's why I want to call you something special as well. I felt an impleading headache. Dion continued talking, obviously to my frown. Which reminds me. Dion glanced around as if he was making sure that we were alone. I raised my eyebrow at him, wondering what he was up to this time. Then he spoke again. His voice was low. Meet me out here tonight. Why is that? It's a surprise. Just promise you'll be here, okay? Stared at him for a long time, thinking back from the moment that where he asked me to hide him from Miss Maria. One couldn't hide from her forever, especially if you were living under the same roof as her. I was spared from a raft, but I didn't think I would be so lucky the second time. You're not planning to do anything stupid again, are you? Because if you are, I don't want to get involved this time. Of course not. I won't do anything to hurt you, my love. Jesus Christ. It seems both of you are getting along well. I turned and I saw Sol walking towards us, greeting us with his usual warm smile. Yes, we're getting along really, really well. Right, love? I apologize if my big brother gets you into trouble. He's really good at that. He gave me an apologetic smile. I suspect that Sol's comment was meant to be a joke, but somehow it felt like Sol was serious about what he said. Dion scowled at his brother. Hey! I'm not getting anyone in trouble. Sol sighed, touching his paw to his forehead. Just don't involve Lady Aura with our mess. We already involved enough people with this curse. This silenced Dion, his expression darkening at Sol's words. Seeing how I never witnessed the side of Dion before, what was happening must have been really serious. Sol stared at him, his expression unreadable. Was it sadness? Regret? Anger? The two of them used to be really close according to Royal, so what could have possibly broken their bond? I was curious, but thought best to keep it to myself. I was in no position to ask the personal questions, especially when I was just an outsider here. Well, if you excuse me, I have some clothes to sew. At these words, I couldn't keep quiet any longer. You sew? I was so surprised at my own question that I quickly covered my mouth with my hand. But Sulk chuckled slightly with his face bright red, causing the heavy atmosphere to finally lighten up. I do? That's amazing! Can I see your work? Perhaps I can show some of them to you someday. Yay! Sol coughed into his paw. Well then, I'll see you both around. I hope you're comfortable with your stay here, my lady. I am. Thank you! Sol smiled at me, and then his gaze shifted to Dion, who was still silent. Sol looked like he wanted to say something, but then he shook his head and finally left. Dion let out a long sigh, as he thought he had been holding his breath the entire time. If only I had the courage to tell him the truth. Huh? Dion flinched. I was probably not supposed to hear that. Sorry, I was talking to myself. Are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. I did not believe him, but I was not so sure how to respond. I better leave as well. Don't forget to meet me here tonight. Sure. Dion scurried away without another word. What was that all about? I remember Sol is the heir of the family, but the firstborn son was supposed to hold the title. So why isn't Dion? Could the family title be the reason why they're so distant with each other? So many questions were in my head, refusing to leave without an answer. But the problem was, I didn't even have one. What have I gotten myself into? I touched my locket for comfort. Mother, I hope I get the answers I need soon. Okay guys, I'm gonna end the episode right here. This is a little bit different from, what's it called? Sol's route, because I actually thought it was gonna be similar, like they would change back into humans the same way Sol did in his route, but I like that this is different, because I know this is Daisuke's first game. It's a little bit cringy, and I figured that they wouldn't change up the stuff between the routes, but I'm glad that they did. It makes it much more interesting and much more enjoyable to play. Again, considering I have to play this like another time after Dion's route. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the companions. And if you would like to help support the channel on Patreon, the link is in the description. Or you can support the channel for free with gawkbox.com/agirlandagame. All you have to do is make an account, open it up on your mobile, download the games on my page, play them, and then you'll donate real money to the channel, which will help me continue the series and continue the channel overall. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about Dion so far. Obviously, it's the type of characters I've seen recur over and over in many dating sims or otomes, the flirty, happy one, but on the inside they're very sad. So obviously that's what's going on with Dion right now, and It's obviously because of his role as the heir, and I think it's also connected with his mother, possibly, so we'll see what happens there. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome to February's monthly update video. So, I have a bunch of things to talk about. Alright, first order, powerful allies to the main characters. These powerful beasts are known as summons. They are extraordinary beings that can be called into battle by their summoner. They are also depicted as